Hello, everybody. You are watching The Main Viewer, if you can believe that. So we have so much going on this week. We have international fans that were treated to some Discovery Season 4 via a big rock in space that was a planet, then wasn't a planet, then was, and I don't know where we stand with that. I knew Mohammed would nod first to that one. Also, if you didn't know, Lieutenant Shax and Sulu both star in Marvel's new animated show. Did you know that? Prodigy premieres on Nickelodeon in a couple weeks. That's Star Trek Prodigy. San Diego Comic-Con happened this last weekend. Not a ton that we missed there. And the big news item of the day and our top story, the big Nichelle Nichols farewell convention is happening this weekend. So without further ado, let's introduce everybody. I want to pull this mic closer to me so people can hear me better. So first, we've got our very special guest. He just arrived all the way from Koreatown, near downtown in Los Angeles. He's an actor, Rico E. Anderson.
What's up? What's up? Great to be here.
The reason we point out Koreatown is because there's no parking ever when we go visit Rico.
Parking wars are real. Good God, man. You will rethink your life's choices coming to Koreatown.
You think you're on time, you're 20 minutes late looking for parking.
Just for parking alone.
Also, the Dean of Natural Sciences at Duke University, as well as occasional science consultant for Star Trek, Dr. Mohammed Noor is here.
Hello. Thanks for having me back. Always a pleasure to be on The Main Viewer. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Yes. She is a member of the Seventh Rule team, a host of Virtual TrekCon, and an actress and entrepreneur, Melissa K. Longo.
What does the K stand for?
Hello. I don't know. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it stands for. But I have a joke.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It'll be funny, Melissa.
Let's hear it.
What do you call two science officers having an argument?
Ooh, give us a second to figure this. A conference? Wait, let me see. Two scientists having an argument?
Science officers.
There's a lot of dead air there. I don't know.
I love you trying to actually figure it out.
Yeah, well, you usually can if you think about it long. Scott's almost got it. He's thinking hard.
I don't know.
An experiment. I bet there's a tribble in this answer somewhere.
There's no tribble.
But there is trouble.
The answer. You're like,
I am itching.
oh, what is?
All right, let's hear it.
Science friction.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
awesome.
so cute.
Love
It's
it.
one of those where you say, I would have never gotten that. I would have never guessed.
I wouldn't have never.
I thought that would be two science officers making out in the closet. But,
Well, that too. It goes both ways.
Oh, I want to see that show.
Or making
Hey, what happens in the
whoopee.
conference stays in the conference.
Speaking of
It's
which,
just between the six of us, right?
No idea.
he's an associate producer of the Seventh Rule, as well as Virtual TrekCon's resident web crawler, and a Star Trek encyclopedia, basically. Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel, who also has a joke.
Oh no, I don't have any amazing jokes, but I do have to say Dr. Mohammed Noor is becoming increasingly and less occasionally a science consultant.
Ooh.
I've seen him on every credit for Discovery so far. All the end
Wow.
credits.
Hey, they're very generous giving me those credits for those. It's big thanks to them.
Whatever, Muhammad. You know things, man, and that's the thing. You know things,
They just don't want lawyers coming after them.
right?
Now, also, that was funny, though. Good job, Rico.
What do I do?
Writer, producer, director, and cameraman extraordinaire. He also handles all the website and graphic design for Virtual TrekCon. Guess who? Scotty K. Baker.
Yeah.
thank you very much. Pleasure to be here again on The Main Viewer.
What's the K stand for?
Tetracell
Yes,
white.
Okay. My name's Ryan T. Husk. I add K's where none should be.
Ryan
You
K.
know,
Husk.
if we were in broadcasting, we would get in a whole lot of trouble with all this dead air silence.
Yeah. Hey, that reminds me. What was that thing? What do you call it when the Pink Panther steps on an ant?
Dead ant.
Then-
Dead
Yeah.
ant. Dead
Where
ant.
did we
Oh
hear
my
that?
gosh.
Dead ant.
Good job,
First
Elise.
grade? I don't know.
That
I
deserves
know.
Right?
I feel like it was on like a TV show or movie or something once.
It may have been on a kid's show.
that deserves a Picard face palm. There you go.
First grade.
All
I
right.
feel like I should tell a joke now. I feel like I should. I feel left out. I feel left out.
We're losing viewers by the second.
Oh!
All right. We can talk about Nichelle in just a minute. Go ahead. Tell us a funny joke, Rico.
I'm saying I feel like I should. It doesn't mean I have one. I truly don't. But I
When
will
has
be
that ever
thinking of-
stopped you?
Exactly. I'll come up with. I'll pull something out of something. But hey, maybe later on in the show I'll tell a joke. But please, let's continue. Let's
Sounds
not
good.
make it about me for
Mhm.
once.
All right. So that's it. Let's talk about Nichelle Nichols and the big farewell convention, which is connected with the big Los Angeles Comic-Con, LA Comic-Con, as the locals call it. All kinds of amazing guests. Let's see. No, that's not it.
Hey,
We've
Jemison's going to be there.
Yeah, Mae Jemison. We've got
Whoa.
Walter Koenig, Doug
Yeah.
Jones, Tim Russ, Gigi Edgley, Gary Graham, Sirach. There's going to be Sirach Lofton, that is. We're going to have Rico E. Anderson, myself, a bunch of original series people, and also Patricia Tallman, Barbara
Barbara-
Luna.
Graham.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought I mentioned Gary Graham. We have
Yeah,
Sean Kenny, who is Captain Pike. Also, Herb Jefferson Jr.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh.
Oh, we love Herb.
We love her.
Before we get into the convention a little bit, Rico and I have had a couple experiences with Herb, right? Every time we see Herb Jefferson at a convention, he's usually reading a book, got the
Yeah.
glass on, pulls down the glasses to talk with us and say things, right?
Yeah, Herb likes to, drop lovely nuggets of morsels of knowledge and really, he's kind of like, you want to hear what Uncle Herb has to say.
Unky Herb, yeah.
Unky Herb, he's just very cool, very
Got some history.
knowledgeable. Got a lot of history, got a lot of stories, I mean, and not just from Battlestar Galactica. I mean, he has a very long career and has done
He was in
a lot of TV.
Columbo.
Yeah, he's done a lot, and so that classic Hollywood, speaks to a lot of stories, which is a lot different from today's Hollywood. So different. So yeah, but
do you have any herbisms to share?
Well, he does sometimes scold us. And by scold us, I mean usually me.
I was gonna say I'm usually not on the hook.
Like Rico and I will come up and talk to him, and he usually kind of scolds me. Like he's one of those guys where he's talking to you just about nothing, but it feels like he's yelling at you. Like he's like, and I was looking for a parking spot. And you're like, okay, I'm just,
In
just
Koreatown?
listen to your story.
It wasn't
I'm
in
on your
Koreatown.
side, Herb.
Yeah.
There was one time though, because he does frequent this nearby cafe that, every single time I've ever been to this cafe, and it's probably my favorite place to go. Every time I've been there, I've seen Herb there. And then, I go say hello, whatever. One time we saw him at a convention, Rico and I were like, hey, how's it going? We're talking, shooting the shit. And I go, hey, Herb, I didn't, I was at the whatever place and I didn't see you last time, And he's like, man, I don't live there. I just frequent the place. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I just feel like people are going to see you yelling at me.
Meanwhile, I'm just slowly going.
What do you do, Ryan? How do you instigate these assaults?
Oh, Melissa, we all know the answer to that. That's just Ryan being his charming self.
He's just got one of those faces that you want to yell at,
Yeah. You either want to slap, punch, or yell. You know.
Okay, so
but shout out to Herb Jefferson Jr. We love him, and
love that dude.
He's a really cool brother. Cool brother.
And he used to always be at the Star Trek convention in Las Vegas, but then they stopped having people that were not directly related to Star Trek a few years ago, and so he wasn't there like starting the last few years. But maybe he'll start being back since they're kind of easing up on that.
Yeah.
Creation is.
And he's part of
Is
sci-fi
Mae
royalty.
Jemison, like is Mae Jemison a part of the Nichelle Nichols?
Yeah, she'll be there.
Stuff? That's so cool because actually Larry was just saying today that one of his favorite parts about like the Goodbye Scotty convention was that Neil Armstrong came out of retirement to pop over and say hi.
Oh, that's Larry Nemeczek you're talking about, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah, of course.
Dr.
Well, we all know Larry, but that doesn't mean
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dr. Star Trek.
Oh, yeah.
There's also a panel called Science Fiction is Becoming Science Fact. Very curious about that one.
Ooh.
That's happening this weekend?
Yep. I think it's on Friday.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. That's gonna be great.
It's right after Mae Jemison, actually.
Okay.
So cool.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is LA Comic-Con didn't happen last year. It was virtual, right? Yeah, it was virtual. Yeah, because yeah, they're coming back with a bang, man. Because
outside.
What happened?
Somebody's angry outside.
Yeah. That's probably Hollywood traffic at Scott's place.
No, actually, it's not.
No, that was me. Well, it wasn't me, but it was.
It's Herb.
People looking for parking outside your place.
Herb. Yeah.
Herb was watching. He's like, I'm coming over. I got things to say.
Lessons to teach.
Yes.
Well, I was checking out today. Check this out, guys. Everybody that's listening in, I am now going to be pulling up the convention schedule.
Schedule.
A little weird. I don't know why my eyes don't work with this one as well as they do other schedules. It's kind of a mishmash here, but
I need like Marina Kravchuk to highlight everything for me.
Yeah, but there's a lot of really good stuff. I didn't realize there was going to be so much.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all this, there's Star Trek writers, Star Trek memories, Nichelle, Nichols, and NASA, TOS guest stars, Mae Jemison, all this. This is just, oh no, that's on Saturday. Friday, there's going to be the family panel, Gene Roddenberry's 100th birthday of Gods and Men. And so it looks like they have 4 different areas, because this is 515 AB, this is 503, 513, 514, and a 411 theater. So then you look over here, and it looks like, so it's gonna have like this room, this room, and then the theater way over here, access to.
Where
it looks like that's what it's going to be.
So in the theater, sorry, Muhammad, go ahead.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, or Scott or somebody.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it looks like a whole little mini convention within the convention.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah, which I think is great. In essence, this is actually better than what was originally planned, because it was basically going to be, originally my understanding, it was going to be at one of the hotels, and so it was basically going to be like Ballroom Con, and
originally it was going to be in like Burbank at one of those kind of things,
right? But in this respect, it's going to be at the biggest Comic-Con in LA, and the second biggest comic. Well, I guess technically WonderCon would be after San Diego Comic-Con, but still, LA Comic-Con is a huge deal, and the fact that they've incorporated Nichelle's event with the whole weekend, and it's not even just for people to know, this is not a separate thing from the con in the sense that if you get tickets to LA Comic-Con, you can't get into Nichelle's event. It's all, you can just walk in. It's all part of the whole LA Comic-Con experience itself. So which is great, because that means everybody can participate in whatever way they will. I think that's a beautiful thing. And of course, that it just it becomes better in this respect. So I'm glad this is happening. Really, really happy that this is happening.
Totally. Chuck
Nice
A in the
is-
live chat says it was going to be at the Burbank Hilton. I think it was like May 1st through 3rd originally. Sorry, what were you saying, Mohammed?
Oh, I was going to say it's nice that it includes the broader aspects of Star Trek, not just the canonical. Like since you mentioned it has Of Gods and Men there, I saw there's a
Right.
Renegades panel too, which I assume you know about, Ryan.
There is a Renegades panel?
There was. I think it was on the far right there in that thing you just showed.
What?
Rico, aren't you? Why aren't you
saw
in the
it too,
Renegades
yeah.
panel?
But,
Uh-oh.
thank you. I don't
I,
know.
Well, you'll
I
probably
did see
be
something.
invited to it.
I did see something that said Star Trek Werewolf. I'm interested to see what that's all
I
about.
know. What is that?
Werewolf?
Like, is that Gary Graham or what?
It's the next Kickstarter.
I wonder what Fee the Tribble is that was on there.
Yeah. Now,
Well, one thing we don't have to wonder about, Scott, I bet you can guess, just like I can. You can guess what this means. This one right here.
Green lighting your. Well, that's when a
kinky.
daddy Trek lover and a mommy Trek. No, yeah, no,
Wow.
that's
You're a special.
Mark Zickery, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I
Right?
feel like he's done that before. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, where he talks about making your own science fiction productions and stuff like that. The idea being that when you want to make a movie or a TV show from a studio, they give you the green light to go ahead and make your thing. And so it's about going out and making your own stuff without waiting for studios or whatever to fund it.
Aha.
But yeah, the Beat the Beast, What If Debate, TOS Flux Tournament. Oh wow.
VFX of Doctor Who.
Wow.
Sex with Doctor Who? What?
Yeah.
Well, I guess somebody has to.
What if
Star Trek Mad Libs. Right now, the people that are listening in, they're just like listening on the audio podcast, and they're not seeing this visual cue. It just sounds like we're just throwing words out. We're like Star Trek, werewolf, sex with Doctor Who, Mad Libs.
What the hell are these people talking about?
Oh my God.
Hey, this is my first time seeing the schedule. So 2 plugs here. I will be moderating a panel with both Gigi Edgley of Farscape and
awesome.
Trisha Tallman of Babylon 5 and Star Trek
nice.
as well. After that panel, there will be a Uhura costume contest, which will be emceed by myself and Ryan K. Husk.
Huh?
Exactly. Fool. So I don't know where it is on the schedule. I do know it's on a Sunday. So check it out. If you're there, come see the panel and come see Ryan and I get our hosting on.
Yeah.
And
So right
Here it is.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And the Star Trek Window to Sci-Fi is the panel that I'm moderating.
Yeah, so it's 1:30 p.m. Looks like we are battling it out with the music of Star Trek for supremacy there.
Okay.
And Star Trek Mad Lit. No, that's
different.
What
It's-
If
yeah.
Debate.
Yeah.
We can take them.
And music of Star Trek's gonna be
can
tough
take
to
'em.
beat, though.
We
What
can-
were you saying, Scott?
I was gonna ask you guys what kind of bribe I got to give to win that Uhura cosplay contest.
Well, Scotty, I'll say
No
right
bribe.
now, you got the legs for it, so you're already in good standing. My friend.
I'm gonna
Just
wear my
shave.
right.
No, Melissa. Let's keep an open mind here.
Gonna wear my
But it's Uhura, and she always
Mirror
had
Universe
shaved legs,
outfit that I've got.
right?
Yeah, Mirror Universe. They didn't shave in the
Oh, okay.
I'll come as Uhura's stunt double.
There you
Oh
know, with every black actor back in the 70s and the 80s, there was always the white stunt double.
Right.
Really?
I know Eddie Murphy when he did Beverly Hills Cop in that scene where they throw him through the window.
Yeah.
There, if you could actually see it, the camera is on the stunt double enough. This guy, his hair was like slicked back, and you could totally tell it was like some white dude. But it wasn't like he was just like, hey, it was more like, he was off to the side. So, but you could easily tell it was a stunt double. It was hilarious. It was so hilarious. So,
He just slicked his hair back like he thought he was stunt doubling for Cat Williams or something.
Yep. Or Don King. So Scotty, you're perfect. You're perfect for it. So. You got my vote.
Well, we aren't actually going to be judges. We're just going to be emceeing it, which is great because we don't want to draw people's ire if they don't get picked.
Yeah. Well, I assume it'll be one of those like audience choice things where everybody claps, right, for which one they think is best. That's how they usually do those, right?
I guess. I don't know. Just be there and clap. Support, man. Support.
Yeah. And so let's talk a bit about the importance of a convention like this. Maybe not so much the convention itself, which is going to be great. And, we've talked about all the goodies that are going on during that convention, but just having an actual thing to commemorate, the end of a career. How cool would it be if Nichelle Nichols at the end says, hailing frequencies closed? Wouldn't that be just
not a dry
I know,
I would be wrecked.
I know.
Not a dry eye in the house.
I would be wrecked.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Blubbering mess.
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome to do something like this because most of the time, people get honored for things after they pass away, and so to be able to do something when she's here and have her part of it, and it to be this completely happy celebration about everything, and her included and everybody there, and the pictures and autographs, and all these kind of things, and not be this sort of mixed somber occasion where people are sad about it, but yeah, because she's had an amazing career and all that, so
and you're going to be a part of this convention as well too, right, Scott? I forgot to mention your part in this event.
I'm gonna be going around like videoing parts of the convention and then getting interviews with people. I'll be hitting up you guys. I'm sure anybody who's there, I'll be finding and asking people what Nichelle Nichols meant to them, and things like that, how she influenced them. I know, you got stories like Whoopi Goldberg saying that, she was, when she was a kid, seeing an African-American woman actress on a major show like that inspired her and gave her, hope, and, the whole idea of seeing somebody like me on TV was such a big part of so many people, like, Nichelle's experience that way. And so just be going around and getting interviews, and I'm going to put together it's going to be this sort of mad dash where I'll be like kind of behind the scenes videoing stuff as it's happening and getting these interviews. And then I think on Sunday there's a I don't know if you're going to pull up the calendar or something, there's going to be a big thing at the end of the convention on Sunday, so I'm going to like feverishly edit together all these clips and put them together. So we have this montage thing to show at the end of the don't know what it's Cosmos. Don't know what it is. Maybe it's the
Comic Blast Party.
Maybe it's the
that's Saturday.
That's like the after party. I don't know what it is. Something I was talking to Sky about it. There's something he wanted to do he wanted to have on Sunday for maybe it's that thing, their finale. Maybe it's that, or maybe that's what it is. But so I'm going to edit all this stuff together and have this little video that plays for everybody to do that kind of stuff. And that's kind of my part this year.
That's great, man. That's going to be awesome. That's going to be really cool.
It'll be fun to go around and talk to everybody. So if you're listening to us now and you see me walking around the convention with a camera and a microphone, come on up and
give them kisses.
Get yourself interviewed, and
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
And then I don't know exactly what after, because I don't know if those interviews, I don't know if I got to talk to Sky again and find out exactly what he wants that end video to be, but I don't know if those interviews are going to go in for the end interview Sunday, or if they're all for something later on that's going to be kind of put together. But yeah, that's all kind of stuff to be determined. It's not really my deal. It's like I just collect the footage and then hand it off and stuff like that. So, but yeah, to get as many people interviewed as possible, I think it'd be cool. Just people who are part of Star Trek, and then just fans and stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
I think one of the great things, obviously, about sci-fi cons, especially when they relate to a specific genre or franchise, it's, and I'm not saying anything that no one knows, but it's a wonderful way for fans to interact with the people who mean so much to them in whatever way that they do, especially if it's on a very personal note, where you always hear of like how somebody's character saved their life because of a tragic situation that they were in or whatnot. And so when you have like a convention in an event like this is yet another way to express that, but giving someone their flowers like this, like we will be doing with Nichelle. It's the ultimate way of saying how much her presence means to us as fellow actors, nerds, colleagues, friends. And that's a big deal. And we could all only hope that we have a send-off like this in life.
Yeah.
Your point's a good one, Rico, and that this hopefully will have an amplifying effect too. All these different people who are inspired by Nichelle in different ways, or not necessarily just representation, but any aspects of her work. By getting to know each other and building that community, you're magnifying that effect further still, and continuing it on. Her legacy will go on, potentially even affecting people who maybe never even knew her in the far future, but were secondarily benefited from her great work. So.
Standing on the shoulders of giants, as
exactly.
they say, right? Yeah, and that's the great thing about it being at LA Comic-Con. Like I've been to the San Diego Comic-Con before, and that place is just freaking nuts. It's so huge, and
I don't like it.
It's something else. And I mean, it's worth going, and it's fun, but it's just so crazy. And
it's almost a different purpose.
It's like a whole city there, and just so many people, and you really get to you get so many lines for everything, and the LA Comic-Con so much smaller. I've been to the San Diego Comic-Con before, and that place is just freaking nuts.
Somebody's playing the YouTube version right now. Somebody closed their YouTube tab.
Something else. And I mean, it's worth going, and it's fun, but it's just so crazy.
Is it you?
And LA Comic-Con.
You're so eloquent, Scott. We had to hear it twice.
Is that what I sound like? Is that my voice?
Yes.
Shoot. But yeah, so it's cool because it will feel more like Star Trek Vegas, or for people who've been to Vegas know it's this much smaller place and so much more intimate, where you can have time to talk with the actors and people like that, and to have this little kind of mini convention within a convention. It'll be cool to see that so many people who are Star Trek fans. I think it'll kind of feel like a mini Star Trek Vegas.
Yeah,
totally.
It really is. It really is, if you think about it. I mean, look at the events. That just look at the calendar.
Also, like people that go to the LA Comic-Con, when we go to that's almost kind of like a little mini Star Trek Vegas reunion. They're usually like 10 or 12 or 20 of us that kind of know each other from the Star Trek convention meeting up there. But they're going to be much more this time, because this is like our own little wing of the LA Comic-Con that's just all devoted to Star Trek and Nichelle Nichols. And so, I think it's going to be like it's a lot of it's going to be a reunion for Star Trek Las Vegas goers, but it's also going to be a lot of people that couldn't go to Star Trek Las Vegas
that too, yeah,
that are going to go to this instead. There are a lot of people that are saying I couldn't go to Vegas, it just wasn't feasible, or it just wasn't going to work out, but I'm not going to miss this thing. And so there's going to be a lot of that too.
Yeah, for the people who are like in the LA area, like you go to Vegas and it's a commitment. Like I'm going to be there all weekend, so many days, and this is like, oh, you can just go for the Saturday, or go for the Friday, or whatever your schedule is, pop in and and enjoy the day, and then go back to whatever you're doing.
Have we all met Nichelle Nichols here? I can say for my part, I've met her, several times, and she's always been nothing but the sweetest lady in the world. There was one time where I sat in a room and interviewed her for about an hour back in like 2016, I think it was.
It was during Renegade, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. And she was so gracious with her time and so happy to talk, happy to share her wisdom. A lot of times when you're talking with an older person, they're not in any hurry. They're hanging out. I mean, for good or bad, they're not in any hurry. And in this case, it was for good. And they also want to make a connection with you. They want to impart their wisdom. They're not just saying, oh yeah, there's good clouds up in the sky or whatever. They want to like connect with you, and they want to say, here's my philosophy on life, and here's my advice to you, whether you asked for it or not, And it was such a beautiful moment in time for me that she just cut out like an hour, and it was less of an interview and more of her just wanting to connect with me. And I'm sure that's how she treated the next person and the next person and the next person, where she just wanted to talk and share her experiences and share some wisdom and impart some memories onto me. And it just felt so special. I swear it almost felt like I was talking with an angel. It almost felt like we were just separated away from reality in our own room, just she and I talking, just connecting, as two people. And it was a really beautiful experience. And since then, she still doesn't remember my name, but no, I don't know if she does, but it was really cool. And since then we've had, other encounters, and she's always been wonderful. Rico, I think you've interviewed her once before as well, I think, but with you, it was up on stage, right?
Yeah, I was at a Silicon Valley Comic-Con, and I had the honor of having a whole hour of conversation with her, and I had met her before, and like we were table neighbors at so we had signing tables at like next to each other at San Diego Comic-Con, and seen her here, seen her there, but this was an opportunity to really sit down and just like you, Ryan, just have a conversation and just, of course, talk about her career and talk about certain bullet points that are always brought up, and just having that moment, those moments. It was really beautiful. It was actually one of her last interviews. Actually, I think she may have done one other smaller interview at another con, and I could be wrong, but that might have been it, or maybe just there may have been a couple of other ones, but she wasn't really doing many after that. I thought that just like all the other interviews at Silicon Valley Comic-Con, that it was being taped, and it wasn't. The whole interview can be summoned, you can basically see 5 minutes of it because of the fact that Ryan came in to see it for a few minutes because he had his table. He recorded about 5-6 minutes of the interview, which was a really nice section. But that's
Mhm.
all that's all the proof I got. I mean,
Hang on to it forever, man.
for life, brother, for life. And thank God, man, you hit the record button on that, because I mean, but it was a beautiful interview. I mean, of course, we spoke about her wanting to leave Star Trek, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Persuading her to stay, and we spoke about that. We spoke about playing a horror. We spoke about her music, her acting career, her other roles, NASA. Just, I mean, a lot of the bullet points, and then we touched on so many other wonderful subjects. But it was great. It was great, and I mean, Ryan, you said it the best in terms of just when you speak to her and how she makes you feel, and yeah. So I'm really.
She never makes you feel like you're taking up her time. She makes you feel like you're the most important person in the world, and the only thing on her mind is connecting to another human, and just making that connection, and making you feel important, and making you feel like she wants you to understand what she's thinking and what she's feeling and what she wants to impart on you.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Too bad she's moving out to New Mexico, or already did, because that just makes me miss her.
I think she already did. I think she's already.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she already did.
Okay.
And Scott, you've shot at her house in the past, right?
Yeah, well, I've been on set with her a couple of times with Renegades, and then I shot like when we're doing like Kickstarter campaigns and other interview things. I shot over at her house up in the valley, and like I remember she has a picture up of when she met President Obama, and she was so
when
thrilled
he
to
met
be able
her.
To,
you mean when he met her?
Yeah, when he met her. Yeah, exactly. And she was so thrilled to tell that story, and she like, I was just kind of standing there looking at the stuff on her wall, and she saw me looking at that picture, and she lit up and was super happy to come over and tell that story and everything like that, and just her being so proud of that, not just them meeting, but that feeling like she was part of that chain of history, that somehow she was part of like why he was able to be president, not like it was her who did it, but that's like these moments in history that have an impact, like we're talking with Martin Luther King and stuff like that. It's like it's all like all this kind of stuff for that journey for African Americans in our country, her being a major part of that chain of events, and so yeah, no. So and every time I went to her house, she's super nice and welcoming, and it was always fun to go there and to hear her talk about stuff. And she's just just a normal person talking. When you're talking with her, nice old lady, and then when the camera's on, she's just she lights up, and she gets in the zone, and she's there. Totally. And she's
ready to go.
Puts on the actor face and does her thing, and it's just so second nature for her, and she has this great great kind of attitude, and on some of it, like we give her this like a teleprompter script, so you're the script is playing in front of the lens, and she's reading the lines, because it's stuff for like the Kickstarter campaigns, and she doesn't have that stuff memorized, and so she's reading it. And so sometimes she's kind of stumbling over the words, or doesn't say a word right and gets a little frustrated, and then we take it back, and then she says a word wrong and laughs about it, and then everybody starts laughing and stuff like that. So but yeah, it was always a fun experience, doing that. And I got a picture with her, and yeah, so super grateful to have had that opportunity, and that experience.
When you were talking about how she kind of lights up when the camera goes on her, not to change the subject, we'll go right back to it, but Walter Koenig also does that. Chekhov, he walks in and he's just like, oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah. Says whatever the political thing is of the day, the fucking GOP, or what he does that. And then he says thing. He goes, "That's kind of hot," And you just kind of, and then you put the camera, and then you're just like, do we need to give him some coffee? He's got a lot of lines today, But then you turn that camera on, and he's just like, boom. And he's like strong and good and intense and 80 something. And you're like, how the does he do that? But right, so
He's reserving it.
Yeah, he's conserving his energy.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I went to his house for one of those, Kickstarter sort of things for a Renegades that we were doing, and it was very much that. And then once he gets talking on the thing, he's got the stories, and he was telling some stories that were like, he's like, "Are you guys done rolling? Like, have you guys cut the camera?" And you're like, "Yeah." And he starts telling the stories that he doesn't want about, I won't go into details, but about him and Leonard
Nimoy. That's for our bonus footage later.
Right. The stories about him and Leonard Nimoy and the height of the Star Trek, convention circuit in the early days, and the fandom, and going out on the town and things like that.
Gold.
We'll have to do an episode about Walter too, because there's a lot to discuss there.
Yeah.
Did Anne-Marie, Melissa, Mohammed, have you had any interactions with one Nichelle K. Nichols?
I had just a photo op with her once, but it was kind of funny because this was at the 2016 convention, and my son Adam at the time was like 12, and we got the picture, and then the person looks like, "Oh, your son was blinking," so we went back and did it again. She's like, "No problem, don't worry." So we did it again, and she's like, "Your son was blinking again," and she's like, "Really? Let's just do it again." So we finally got the picture, but he looks like he's like on amphetamines or something. His eyes are like this big. Sure, for the third one, it was okay. We're not holding up the whole line, but she was very sweet about it, despite the hold up.
That's so cool.
That's kind of like that one time Rico, I saw a photo op with him. There are these people that wanted a photo op with Rico, and they said the same thing. They're like, "Oh, my son was blinking." They turned and Rico was already gone. He's like,
"Oh no,
guys.
I'm out." You get one shot. I don't play that. I don't care who you are. Wait a minute. When did that happen? What are you talking about? Hey,
I'm just making it up. Hey, I cannot be held responsible for everything that comes out of my mouth.
Listen, don't turn my 6 fans away, okay? I appreciate you very much. Jeez. Lisa?
Yes. Oh, I met her briefly with Aaron, and she was very sweet. You did say Melissa, right?
Yeah. Well, I did. I don't know about Ryan.
Okay. He looked surprised that I was talking. But Aaron had this wonderful story that he told me with her, an experience he had with her in at a convention in Germany, and it was at the opening ceremonies of, I think it was FedCon. I can't remember, but and we had just started dating then. But anyway, they call him on stage, and everyone on stage, and at the end there's like this big dance party on stage, and he got so chuffed because Nichelle Nichols grabbed his hand out of everyone and started dancing with him. He's like, "I danced with Nichelle Nichols," which was, and yeah. So it was so amazing, and then seeing the videos of that was great too. And but
so
yeah,
cool.
I've only had passing interactions with her, but she's always been sweet in those moments. So yeah.
That's great.
Well, Anne-Marie, I don't know if you've ever met her, but have you ever seen her across a crowded convention hall?
No, because I didn't start going until 2019. Oh. I mean, just as well, because I would get so starstruck, I would be like speechless the rest of the day.
Yeah, well, now you know what you've missed out on after all these great stories of how nice she would have been to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. I didn't really expect for all of us to share our Nichelle Nichols stories, but that's really a lot of fun. Do we have any final thoughts on the convention itself and the importance of Uhura in the Star Trek universe, Anne-Marie?
Oh, I'm just reading the live chat. And of course, Marina Kravchuk's here, our resident convention expert, although she's not going this weekend. But she's confirming that she does give the sweetest photo ops.
Nice.
And also some chat packers who will be at LA Comic-Con this weekend.
Ooh.
That we do want to know. Everybody in the chat right now, if you are going, just put in the chat, the live chat, just say yes or going or your favorite
Comments
fruit.
too. It'd be easier to find them too. You can get them in the comments.
We will have tables, signing tables also, Ryan and I. So that's one way to see us. So if you're there, stop by the table. So it was
You doing photo ops, Rico?
at the table.
Awesome.
Yeah. At the table.
That counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our friend Rico is going to be there. As you know, Scott's going to be there, and Sirach Lofton will be there. So that'll be good times. Melissa just said in the chat, yes. So Melissa's going to be there.
All right.
Anybody have any final thoughts on the convention itself or Nichelle or Uhura?
2 thumbs up.
I'm just excited. So
Yeah, I just want to say one last thing on it. I fully share Whoopi Goldberg's story and her feelings when she first saw Nichelle. I say it all the time, and I will never stop saying it. Representation matters, and I've wanted to be an actor ever since I was 6, and this is something I've always wanted to do, and that representation, be it from Nichelle or a lot of people, even Herb Jefferson Jr. I remember seeing her in Battlestar Galactica as a kid.
Oh yeah.
And seeing that representation. So it does matter. And when you have the opportunity, like I have many times over, of being able to meet a lot of the people that I grew up watching and admiring and just having that opportunity to say thank you and just to and hopefully work with them, it's a beautiful thing. So this is great on so many levels, but on that level, it's a very personal one for me, and it's great that we're doing this. It's great that this is happening, and it's great that it's going to be. I hope it's going to be live streamed. I hope some of this is going to be live streamed, because obviously a lot of people aren't going to be able to attend. So hopefully some fashion.
It's tough to do live streams at these conventions because it's so hard to get Wi-Fi connections and things because there's so many people with so many phones going in and out. But yeah, I hope somebody live streams it. That'd be great.
Well, Scotty, I know you're doing your thing, and hopefully there will be other people who, hopefully it's just you that's capturing it all, but hopefully that the footage that is captured will be available for other people.
Yeah, well, my stuff will definitely not be live streamed. So unless I stick my phone up on there and do a little secondary thing. I don't know.
Right.
So everybody that is going, come say hello to us. You'll see Scott behind a camera. You'll see Rico and myself at tables, probably next to our buddy Sirach. You'll see Melissa wandering the halls and offering dum-dums, right? You got one of those 100 packs of the, I want the mystery flavor.
No, you always want root beer butterscotch. Those are the good ones.
No, just Smarties. I like Smarties.
Oh, good to
I'm
know.
not bringing candy.
Aw, Rico always brings candy to his convention. To his table. He always lures people in with candy. He's got a nice little basket with all these candy. He's like, "Oh, you want to?"
That's the way to do it.
And since you're here, I got these pictures I could sign for you, and we can do a little photo up and lure them with candy. That just doesn't sound right, but yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, so let's change the channel a bit and talk about a new show that actually Anne-Marie told us about this. Anne-Marie, would you like to tell us all?
Okay. Well, I was sitting around doing nothing Friday night, and then I was like, well,
What?
what's on Hulu? Because why do I have this subscription when I never watch it lately? And it turns out there's this, it like showed me this show Hit Monkey, and I looked by Marvel, which I don't usually tend to watch like superhero shows. But then it said who was in it, and already they had me at Fred Tatasciore, who plays Shax. He's so great, and he was such a great interview on Seventh Rule. And so apparently he plays the monkey. And then when I looked to see who else was in it, George Takei is the other leading cast member. I was like, how is there a show with two like big Star Trek people? And that was not reported to us. So now everybody knows. And it's pretty
check
good.
it out. So it's called Hit Monkey.
Yeah, and George Takei like doesn't have as big of a role, but I think his role like gets progressively bigger, and he's like a Japanese politician for good. See, look, and Ted Lasso is like the other main person.
It's
This
Marvel.
show kind of
This is legit.
Yeah.
This is Marvel.
Yeah.
Revenge Goes Primal. Oh, that's funny. That's cute.
This show kind of came in under the radar. It was not heavily advertised. MODOK is another one that's on Hulu that wasn't heavily advertised either. So
yeah, there's like a
but
fun
look, this
Easter
has
egg for MODOK in it.
This has the guy that plays Shax on Lower Decks.
Yeah.
He's the main character. He's Hit Monkey.
Yeah.
And George Takei, sorry, is Shinji Yokohama. Jason Sudeikis is in this. Olivia Munn. I had no idea.
Every time I start watching it, I have to order ramen out because they're always eating ramen and it looks so good. So.
Shout out to Ali Maki and Theodore Chin. I worked with Ali Maki on a film years ago, and Theodore's from the Bay. Great voiceover artist. So
nice.
Yeah. Oh, and Jolene Kim. I know Jolene too. That's so cool. Yay.
Well, we know George Takei.
I looked up the Rotten Tomatoes scores for it because I was curious like how it ranked. It does pretty good. So for the audience, it was 93%. For the critics, it was 75%. So to scale it, then I looked up a bunch of Star Trek movies to see like where would it fall amongst the Star Trek movies. So it has a higher audience score than First Contact, which is like,
oh, get the out of here! What? Who is rating this thing? First Contact.
But then for the critics, it kind of falls between. It's above Insurrection and Nemesis, and a little bit below Into Darkness and Undiscovered Country. So
Muhammad, you did your research. Look at you.
Wait. Right. Insurrection and Nemesis are below Into Darkness?
Yeah, they are. For audience critic scores.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a less funny version of Archer.
Oh.
How many episodes have you seen?
I think I'm on 7 or 8.
How do you like it?
You have to be in the right like headspace. First of all, let me also say don't watch it with kids because it's super graphically violent.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Which sometimes I'm like, ew. Even with cartoon, that's gross. But it's sort of like Archer meets Kill Bill. Like the guy who plays Ted Lasso like makes a lot of jokes under his breath, like an Archer style. And whoever does the writing, I will say, like, is not as funny. Like the jokes kind of fall flat. But awesome animation, and it really makes you want to go to Japan and eat Japanese food. And it's pretty original. Plus, it's just so amazing to have 2 Star Trek actors.
Yeah.
Heading it up.
Now, what I was curious about was Fred Tatasciore, who plays Shax again on Lower Decks. What kind of is his voice recognizable?
Yeah, so this is really weird. This is the really weird part. I keep waiting to see if the monkey will like learn English, because obviously like it's in the show's in English, but so far it's just like monkey noises, which is a little bit weird.
Monkey noises.
But like at this point he's starting to understand the ghost spy hitman who does speak English to the monkey. But yeah, it's just oddly it's just monkey noises, so you can't really tell that it's Shax.
So Fred is doing the main character's voice, but it's just there's no dialogue.
Yeah, it's
Main
like I'd
character
say
is
like
a monkey.
80% of the show is just like him and Ted Lasso talking. Well, one of them
Wow.
talking and one answering in noises.
It's always
It's worth a
interesting when
watch.
Marvel chooses how they choose certain projects. It's like Marvel has like a million projects, and I'm not knocking the show because I haven't even seen it, but it's just like Marvel's got a million projects of well-known like superheroes, situations, storylines, and they choose like, from what my understanding is, one of the lesser known whatever. So I don't know.
Well, you
It's
can
definitely
take
no
more
MODOK.
creative license with something that's more or less known, and you get less, of the this is not the way the comic is supposed to be. With
you got a
more
lot of
popular
gatekeepers.
stuff. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Hey, if it works, it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then sometimes you get something where like it might be like Jason Sudeikis or something who's like a total fan of this particular property and says, "Hey, I want to do this thing, make this thing," and that's the sort of thing that
That's
gets
true.
it going. If you have an actor
Mhm.
who really gets behind something and
like
can
Patton Oswalt and MODOK really like nailed
Right.
that.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. So
But is
maybe
MODOK even that good? I mean,
I thought it got so good. You
I
just watched
tried.
the first. You just watched the first.
it's good,
It got
dude.
better and better, and there were some like hilarious deep cut jokes that you would only get like if you had a bar bat mitzvah. I'm like, who are these jokes for? Like, you have to know the Hebrew that you don't really understand what it means. He just had like some really amazing jokes, and it very
Sounds
like much
amazing.
channeled Dr. Katz.
Medicine Woman.
No, professional therapist.
Who is the medicine woman?
Dr. Quinn.
Dr. Quinn.
Quinn.
But then the other really fun cameo, like Star Trek sort of recurring character that's out there right now is Dickinson on Apple. Bob Picardo's in it, and he plays like kind of a funny older doctor, and he's been recurring quite a lot this season.
He is ubiquitous.
Also a really fun one.
Shows
He
up
is
everywhere.
ubiquitous.
Whoever thought of casting Picardo as a doctor? I don't get it.
What show is that?
On Dickinson, it's like the show about Emily Dickinson that's sort of like it's like filmed as if it's current and modern, but it's like about Emily Dickinson around the time of the Civil War, growing up in Amherst. Pretty good.
I just started watching. I just started watching the show What We Do in the Shadows last week. I hadn't seen it. And
With Dougie.
Shut up.
Yeah.
So
And like Dougie shows up and like
Scott, she
steals
said
the
shut
show.
up. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he comes
bad.
on and he's this old vampire, the Baron, and he's freaking hilarious and just like steals the show. I mean, everybody on the cast is so funny. It's some of the guys from like the IT crowd and the Garth Marenghi's Dark Place and Flight of the Conchords and stuff like that. And they're all funny, and the writing's good. But like Dougie comes in and he's just hilarious. He's so hilarious, and to see him, I mean, because he does this thing where he's in a costume and stuff like that. But he gets to be kind of wacky. That not the kind of stuff that you see him when he's Saru. So.
And I can't believe they keep bringing him back. Like they just finished season 3, and he's even in season 3.
Yeah.
What? Don't spoil it. I haven't seen it. I'm
That's
still
all.
in season 2.
That's all.
In the live chat, Chuck A says Falling Tower could review this. I think he means Hit Monkey. That's
Hit Monkey.
I
Yeah.
didn't even think of that. That's a great idea.
Oh,
I told you this like
Okay.
twice this week to review it and put it in a virtual TrekCon day.
Oh yeah.
That's okay.
Silence.
I'm
Did
glad
you really?
Chuck A requested it.
Yeah, but this is Chuck A we're talking about, Anne-Marie.
I know.
Come on.
Yeah, from now on, my requests are going to be through Chuck A.
Well, the A stands for Anne Marie.
Yeah.
You guys are a combo.
Good old Chuck A. Always good for a laugh. and a suggestion, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice
so
meeting
that's
you.
Hit Monkey. That's Hit Monkey, and that is Dickinson for everybody to check out. If there are a lot of people at home that like to check out new shows that have Star Trek actors in them, like Boston Legal has like 1 million Star Trek actors, and Other shows like that do it. So there you go. There's your homework, everybody.
Okay,
for
and
that
then the
kind of
other
stuff.
really cute one that you're gonna roll your eyes because it's Broadway is that Rene Auberjonois' son is one of the stars of Music Man with Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster that opens in a couple weeks. And it's really fun to see an Auberjonois name like on the stage door. It's just really sweet.
Speaking of
another reason
Broadway,
to go see that.
Speaking of Broadway, shout out and rest in peace to Stephen Sondheim, who I actually just saw a somebody posted. I don't know who posted it, but it was saying that he was a captain. His name was listed as captain on DS9.
Yeah.
So
on one of the
On
the
the
episodes.
one of the I think in twice and one time on the USS Hispaniola, which they named as like a like circuitous reference to West Side Story because he did the lyrics for West Side Story. And Puerto Rico is officially like part of this island chain called the Hispaniola. So that like deep cut reference was for that because Maria's is Puerto Rican in West Side Story.
Everybody is a captain.
So cute.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. Good knowledge.
David Diggs was at Marie's Crisis last night, like from Prodigy, the commander.
Oh. He Diggs from
I don't know if he's in any. He also was in Hamilton, but I don't know if he's been in any episodes yet. I'm like a little behind on Prodigy. But he's
the commander on Prodigy?
Commander.
Oh.
What's his last name? No. Maybe he hasn't showed up yet, but he's in 4 episodes.
I don't know what he plays.
Anyway, that was my celebrity sighting.
Shout out to David Diggs, went to Berkeley High.
He's amazing.
Oh, nice.
My alma mater.
Mm-hmm.
Great hair.
Rico, you've reached your quota of shout outs for the week, by the way. You told me to remind you when you hit 90.
Thank you. Because I could go on. I could do this all day.
Speaking of all day, there's another bit of news this week. I don't know if you guys noticed, but a week or two ago, Star Trek on Paramount Plus announced that it would not be available to international fans. And a few fans had a problem with that. And then Star Trek on Paramount Plus was like, all right, let's address this. Yeah. And actually we've got this right here. And Muhammad seems to know a good deal about this.
Read it online. Yeah.
Star Trek, they've got this article here where they mentioned that starting on, there it is, the first 2 episodes will be available Friday, November 26th. This is on Pluto TV and all kinds of different countries with all kinds of different, times and caveats and whatever. But what do you know, Muhammad? By the way, what do you think this was for? Do you think this was because everybody was banging on the door, or do you think they're like, hey, we could probably fix this pretty easily?
Yeah, I don't have any inside knowledge, but based on what was there, as you said, I think it was the Tuesday before Thanksgiving or so, there was the original announcement saying that, that they were removing not just that they were not going to be airing the new Discovery series, but they were actually removing all the old Discovery series from Netflix. And as you said, people were not especially happy about that, especially outside the United States, where that's the only place where you could see it. And there was at the time they said that it would be available in 2022 for people to watch. But, it's tough right now because social media is so intense. There's going to be spoilers out there all the time. It's going to be tough. So people complained, as you said. They posted then a tweet the next week. I called it the Thanksgiving Day miracle. I'm not sure if it was actually on Thanksgiving Day, but it was right around then. Right around Thanksgiving, they posted "We heard you. We're gonna post."
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, as somebody who's in the industry and stuff like that, I mean, all these sort of like licensing deals are always really complicated, and it could have been one of those things where maybe at the last minute Netflix said, well, we don't want to, we don't want to pay so much for it, or try
Oh,
to,
yeah.
there wasn't a deal that they could work out in time, to get it. And so, the deal fell apart at the last minute. And so, because it's always so complicated with all these kind of things with like territories and
Totally.
and I know people have been finding a way to kind of get around like the Netflix thing and everything like that. Like you can, people have been
VPNs and
getting,
stuff.
all that kind of stuff. And that, maybe Paramount or whatever was looking at that and trying to find, okay, what's a solution that we can get so that we can continue to to monetize the show. And obviously, people who grew up in the era where you could just turn on your TV and you could watch Star Trek on Channel 4 or whatever and aren't used to paying for it. And now we're in this era where, everything's on a service and you pay for it. People get kind of grumpy about that kind of stuff. But, if they just, Paramount or whatever just kind of gave the show away for free and everybody gets to see it for free, then there's then where's the money going to come from to continue to make episodes, so they
money.
They have to have some way to monetize the show, and whether it's through advertisements on the show or it's through streaming services, whether it's their own streaming service or it's through Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or something like that, they have to, there has to be some way for them to generate revenue from it. Or, I mean, it's a business, it's an industry. Like why would they, they're not doing it because of an undying love for Star Trek and to create the art. It's like, people like Dougie need to have their salaries, and everybody who works on the show gets paid. And these shows are like super expensive. I mean, I know the budgets of the old Star Trek, like in the 90s, was pretty high for network television, but now the stuff has got to be super expensive because the kind of effects that they're doing and all that kind of stuff. So
so now it's available on Paramount Plus in the US, Australia and Latin America, but then and then again on what's it called, that sci-fi channel, I think, in Canada. But then Pluto TV in like Austria and Germany and places like that. And then I think the Pluto TV sci-fi channel in the United Kingdom.
Right.
Oh, actually, you're highlighting exactly that. There we go.
I think in Canada it's the Space Channel.
That's what it is, yeah.
Here's the really interesting thing about the Europe one. Apparently in different countries like decide if they want to have it dubbed. And I guess you kind of get what you pay for with that. So I heard like the one in Austria is like very not the best quality German translations. And I heard some people complaining about that.
For
like
you
in
German
the
snobs.
live stream. Well, in Austria, but then in Germany, it airs both in German dubbed or in English dubbed.
Oh.
So the Austrian guy who was talking about it said he like has some wormholes where he can get to Germany through that and hear their actual English version.
Yeah. I think there might be still a few
Max?
holes. Oh, sorry.
No, just kidding.
Well, that's another thing with all these deals.
I know.
When like a studio makes a deal with some other streaming platform, say, okay, we want to show it in this territory, we want to show it in Germany, we want to show it in China or something like that. It's like, okay, now we gotta get it dubbed for that language, or we gotta get the subtitles, and that's a thing that has to be paid for because it's a service, and who's going to do it and check it. And I used to work at Dorks Digital, and that was part of my job, was going through the different subtitles and audio
what's
streams. Deluxe Digital Studios.
Oh, Deluxe. Oh shit.
I thought you said Dorks Digital.
That's what I thought too. I thought you said Dorks Digital. I was like, wait.
Same thing.
I was like,
Deluxe
how did
Digital.
Ryan that past Ryan?
But can't you see Scott working at a Dorks Digital?
Totally.
Yeah,
And just
I can totally agree.
saying it real quick, Dorks Digital, no big deal.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the whole thing. And like, you have to have people that go through and watch all the content and make sure that all the subtitles line up. And there's so many moving parts and all these kind of things. And so it's not like you can just like flip a switch and be like, okay, and now it's showing in Germany and it's in German.
Yeah.
It's a whole process to get everything together. And
the turnaround time for that, because they just decided to release it. That's I can't even imagine all the parts.
But you would think that, and I'm not trashing any network or anybody, but you would
Then
think
we don't want to hear it.
Um,
You know, that's all we do is, he's gone.
Oh.
He disappeared. He just phased out of the
Yeah,
happy world. Oh,
yeah.
please
Teleporter's
continue.
working.
what I was saying before was really no, I was just saying, you would think that with all the issues and whatnot, that these type of things would have been dealt with before things premiere and all this kind of stuff, because it does seem like there are tons of issues that could have and should have been like ironed out way before this season 4 is premiering or whatever is about to premiere. It just seems like, and again, I'm not trashing anything, but it just seems like there have been issues from the beginning. Even with even with Paramount Plus, when it was all access, people were having problems with streaming and stuff like that in the beginning. Stuff like that. I mean, stuff happens. So
Well, they're
Yeah.
doing an amazing job, and it just premiered here, and they made all of this in a pandemic,
Yes.
which I just
yes.
feel like is something to really behold. And like, I know there have been some negative comments about like, well, there's so many scenes with just like 2 people in them or things like that, and there's so much
Good.
more action than even usual. And I'm like, first of all, I am like, good. I love the 2-person scenes, but also,
Did you ever see Castaway
well,
with Tom
yeah.
Hanks? It was like
Yeah.
one person the whole movie.
Well, plus like probably this beginning of season 4 was done like before there was even a vaccine, so they're having to do like
Right.
a million tests every day, and everybody who would come on set in quarantine. And like you'll notice like in the bigger scenes, everybody's sort of like spread out like in a Star Wars Senate kind of situation, probably like to stay like more than 6 feet apart. So I think they don't necessarily deserve all this. The criticism.
I think they
they're
deserve a
getting.
lot of praise. In fact, yeah, I think that's great that they were.
And we never
because
heard anything about them like being shut down for outbreaks,
Mhm.
things like that. Like they did a great job with that.
Right. And
What's
it was just
not
a few
happening
days.
is
It was just a few days after they announced that they weren't going to do it, that they were able to figure out a deal
Yeah.
to do, this worldwide. I mean, that's pretty impressive. At least it sounds really impressive.
They have
I'm
some
shocked they were
super
able to
lawyers.
do that. Mhm. What were you
what's
saying,
not
Rico?
happening is nobody's out to try to destroy the franchise, or there's not any type of like malice or anything like that. You got a lot of people who sometimes want to go those routes, and it's just like, come on, guys.
You're really good, Rico. I noticed on social media you're always really good at stopping the haters. I appreciate that.
I try to shut it down, man.
Yeah, you're good at that.
He's a one-man warrior. He's a vigilante out there. He goes onto his computer and he can smell. He like sniffs it out. He's like, I smell trolls. Let me get him.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, wait. I'll tell you what kind of troll he looks for. In just a second here.
I usually just end a lot of it with just enjoy Star Trek.
Yep, that's exactly what you say. Yeah.
Just enjoy Star Trek.
Or let people love
Well,
things.
also,
The
other really cool thing.
La 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 la.
Oh
This
my
is the
gosh!
kind
Oh
of
my gosh! That's my guy.
he goes for the trollolololos.
Oh my god! We forgot to listen to that today.
Ha 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 ha. If you know, you know. The trollolololo guy, Edward Keel.
Mister.
Never heard of him.
Oh my God,
Oh my
you are
God.
Melissa. Everybody
You have
at
to
home,
watch it every day.
when this is over, do yourself a favor and just Google Trollololo, TROLOLO,
Yeah.
and thank
It's
us
like
later.
38 million
Thank us later,
views, so it'll be the first thing.
It
Make
is
sure you're
the
not
greatest.
Make sure you're not drinking anything because you'll spit it out.
You're gonna fall in love.
It's making me want to go to the
Anything?
Russian bars.
Okay, but also I do want to point out that Medallion was commenting on where Scott Baker works and called it Dork Squad. So that's a good name. And
Also, where does Medallion live? Where Medallion's running into George Takei at the grocery store all the time.
right. And Goldu Scott Jensen says Eve was telling him how weird it was to watch Discovery and have to sit down at a specific time and see commercials like back in the old days. What are we, cavemen and cave women and cave
I like
people?
only just canceled my cable because I love doing that on BBC America with TNG especially. It's so fun when it just is on with commercials and you're watching it like in vivo. I love that.
What?
But in vivo, like
No. I mean, why is
It's
that
normal
fun
life.
to have commercials?
it's so
You
like
want
it's so doesn't it feel like
retro?
really nostalgic? I love it. But
It
I
does
was
like
like,
was-
it's
if
a
it-
it's
does
a
it was,
stupid
yeah.
expense. It's
Yeah,
a
if
They
it
stupid
was
play
old
the
expense.
same
commercials, but-
over and over again.
kinda
The
love it.
same commercials. And
Yeah.
I'm just
No,
like,
that's
I don't
Pluto
want to see
TV.
this again.
That was Google
That's
All of
Pluto
them
Fi.
TV.
Yeah,
All of
Google
them
Google
do
TV.
Fi.
that.
Google
my God.
Fi right now is gonna make me shoot my face off with a cheese grater. That like that every time I go on
One plan
YouTube,
that can.
oh, and you can never skip it. You can't. You just have to just.
Oh yeah,
Stop
it's
talking
it's
about it.
content
It's
will
gonna start
play
showing
after
up
the
on
video.
mine.
Oh, right now it's hearing us talking about it, so it's like
Yeah,
the
stop it.
algorithms are like noted.
Oh,
Google Fi, more
no.
Google Fi.
No, seriously, if you guys if anybody watches, like there's a Star Trek channel on Pluto TV and they play like 99% like next gen. And every now and then they'll throw the movies in. And Pluto TV has some deal where they literally play like 3 of the same commercials all the time. All the time. And yes, I guess I have a lot of because there's some cool stations on Pluto TV, but yeah, you will literally see the same one all the time. So
Is it Iffle Goog backwards?
say what?
Is
The
it
what?
Iffle Goog backwards? I don't want to say it again so we don't get it in there.
Right. Oh yeah. They're listening.
Well, also there's the cool news that Prodigy is going to be on Nickelodeon. It just got announced. They're doing a full hour premiere on December 17th.
That's great.
So I'm very much looking forward to like the masses of kids where it's not behind a paywall getting to see it.
So it's gonna be like on Nickelodeon, like on cable. If you have that channel's gonna be on there. Cool.
Yeah.
It's actually called Nicotrololodian.
Although I really enjoy Paramount Plus Nickelodeon because they have all the 90s Star Trek or 90s Nickelodeon shows.
Nick at Night. Is that still a thing? Nick at Night? Is that
Oh
still
my
a
God, I
thing?
was
Is
such
that-
a Nick at Night fan. I used to win the trivia things on AOL chat rooms every week, and they would send me all this Nick at Night swag.
Nick after.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's December 17th that starts, right?
Yeah.
Final thing, San Diego Comic-Con happened last weekend, and that's about all there is to say about that, right? There wasn't much
Yeah,
Star Trek stuff
There's no Star
that
Trek.
happened.
Well,
What I do need to do, I guess that Brent Spiner book, I don't remember the name of it. It's kind of like
Fan film. I think it was called like fan
fan
fiction.
film.
Fan fiction.
I guess.
Yeah, it's
It's
real,
like
but it's not real. And he got
Slash like noir. But the Audible is actually narrated by the TNG cast. So
He
I
got
need
the
to
whole
get that.
cast of.
Wow.
It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah,
And then
I
Chase
think
and
it's
Terry
called
Farrell over there.
fan fiction because I Googled that and look what came up. So yeah, that must be it.
Oh, there it is.
Ah, that's not it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh
Whoa.
my God. that's
That was the big
marketing.
Star Trek news at San Diego Comic-Con this year.
It's
That was
crazy.
it.
Well,
Apparently Rod Roddenberry was there too, right, guys?
he had
was
one, and
So
I guess
was
like
Terry.
Larry did. Yeah, she and Chase had like a pop culture hero coalition panel, and then I think there was just like a general one about Star Trek with no names attached, and then Larry had his State of Star Trek Union where he just
Nice.
puts a microphone and people can come vent about what they think about Star Trek, which seems a little bit scary too. But yeah, it's crazy. There was nothing like, I was really surprised there were no like huge, massive Paramount sponsored panels, it doesn't seem. Or like new stuff.
Apparently, there wasn't really a huge Hollywood presence at this particular one. I heard that it was more along the lines of like a WonderCon or a just a lot more low key than what the beast usually is of San Diego Comic-Con yearly.
Yeah. I wonder if there's going to be anything Star Trek related at all at LA Comic-Con outside of the Nichelle Nichols thing? Or is that just going to be like all Star Trek stuff is going to be in there? It's probably going to be like that, right?
That's kind of what Larry said.
Yeah.
Larry Nemechek. So
Star Trek.
in closing, Rico E. Anderson, can you tell us all where people can find you online, where they can stalk you, or whatever you'd like to promote? I know you're not usually one into self-promotion, but give it a shot.
Never. Up there, and that's to promote me being at LA Comic Con this weekend. Yes, I can be found on Instagram at I am Rico Anderson, as well as I am Rico Anderson on the Twitter, and I am Rico Anderson on Facebook. And check out my website, ricoanderson.com.
Also, a quick thing to add, Rico will actually be a guest co-host on Watch the First, Falling Towers Watch the First podcast next Sunday, the 12th. And we will be doing a review of Cowboy Bebop. I put Space Cowboy for some reason in my notes, but it's Cowboy Bebop with a cosplayer that Scott Baker knows well and directress Vera Vanguard.
Ooh.
So that's fun. Check that out. That's on Sunday the 12th.
Yeah.
Mohammed, where can people find you online?
On Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as MAF, like in Frank Noor, and like November OOR, or on YouTube. If you just search for BioTrekkie, it comes up, and I've got a channel there with a bunch of science behind Star Trek and videos.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Melissa Longo?
Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Melissa Longo. Walking art made by Melissa. The Seventh
.com.
Rule. Ooh, has an Indiegogo going on right now. Go check it out. Yes.
Check it out.
We want to hit stretch goal number 4.
Congrats, you guys, on that, by the way. Congrats.
And,
Thank you.
Congrats. Yeah.
Very well done.
and the YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
YouTubes.
Thank you, Melissa. I should have mentioned the Indiegogo probably at the top of this show. I was so distracted on how I could sneak in Edward Keel.
Oh my gosh, we love him. We forgot to listen to him today. Especially the comments on that are just like the most hilarious things. Remember the one that said, "Did you forget to listen to him today?" That's my reminder for this guy.
So everybody at home, that means you could find Anne Marie. If you're looking for her online, you can find her at the Edward Keel YouTube page. No, where can they find you, Anne Marie?
Lurking in the comments. It's true. On Twitter at Anne Marie Siegel 1. And then also on Sunday, Mohammed and I and meteorologist Katie are doing a live Science and Star Trek quiz. I think from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern at Virtual TrekCon. And then, is that it? Oh yeah, and then on Saturdays at Barracuda in New York for the To Proudly Go Discovery viewing parties with trivia and drink specials and prizes and amazing drag queens. Actually, Mary Wiseman's now following our drag Tilly, and they're now friends.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Also, one of Rob Zombie's best songs, Dracula, is well known by everybody. And we will include the Indiegogo link in the description box below for everybody that wants to go check that out. Thanks for reminding us on that, Melissa. Scott Baker, where can people check you out?
Mostly I'm on Instagram, Mr. Scotty Baker. And I haven't talked about in a while. I did those couple episodes of animated Star Trek fan film.
Yes.
So you can check those out at
those are awesome.
At astartrekfanfilm.com. And the second episode stars Ryan and Rico and Melissa are all in it, so that's pretty fun.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's me.
You guys have got to check out astartrekfanfilm.com. Written, directed, performed by Mr. Scotty Baker. It's so
Yeah.
funny. It's so good.
It's
And then
so good.
in the second film, he expanded the cast to
Yeah,
Melissa, Rico, myself. Oh man, it is
Yeah.
They're
good
so
stuff.
cute.
Yeah,
is good
yeah.
stuff.
Consider making. I've been, tossing on the idea of making another one. So if I get enough love, then maybe I'll get.
Nice.
You should do a
pushed into
Discovery
making it.
one, man.
Yeah, well, the last one, the last one did hit
Touch on
Discovery
it.
a bit. Yeah, yeah. It was kind of really all about Discovery. So,
Mhm.
but-
Or
no,
Discovery.
yes. So, but yeah. I don't know.
Somebody stop Ryan, please. Just
Oh
stop.
my God, it took me
We'll
so long
see.
to get that.
Yeah. So, and everybody, you can find me on, just Google my name, Ryan T. Husk, or go to the Seventh Rule, anywhere on social media, or Virtual TrekCon anywhere on social media, and say hello. Now
Falling Tower.
it is time. Yeah. And Falling Tower, my goodness. Falling Tower is desperate for subscribers. Can you please go? We're only like 1 million and something. We need more subscribers. Please go find us.
You're
on
999
YouTube.
million away from 1 billion.
Yeah, I know. We're practically
Yeah.
there. So check that out.
1,000th of the way there.
So the upcoming schedule of the week, you're going to find out in just a second, because it is now time for the Star Trek Day trivia question of the day.
Hey,
Here we go.
Oh, well, at least Muhammad didn't submit these ones, so we might have a chance.
Those were so good. I don't know if you saw
Those
that,
were
Muhammad, but A+.
amazing.
Thank you for that.
I have the whole box of
That
them
game
here.
is oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
We're bringing it
That'll
back.
keep
Yeah.
us busy. Yeah.
Okay. Here's the big question. Don't answer right away. Let everybody in the live chat get this, because you guys are going to know it so fast. The question is, what book did Picard give Elnor as a child? Is it A, Huckleberry Finn, B, Robinson Crusoe, C, The Three Musketeers, or D, Treasure Island?
Wah, boom,
I thought it was going to be Cleveland Booker.
wah, doom, 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 wah,
Once
Think
again,
it's
the
that book.
question is, what book did Picard give Elnor as a child? Huckleberry Finn is A, Robinson Crusoe is B, The Three Musketeers is C, Melissa is Googling, Treasure Island is D.
busted, so busted.
I was listening.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
I was
so
gonna
But
say,
now I'm gonna
say
Google.
Communist Manifesto, but I guess that's not.
okay, so you'll find out the answer to that in just a moment. But we do want to tell you this week's schedule. Just yesterday, we had a new episode of The Seventh Rule, and I lost it in my notes.
It was amazing. It was the season 5.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's the
review.
season 5. It's a season in review that premiered just yesterday. So go check that out. The link will be in the description box below. Seventh Rule YouTube channel. We talk about the entire 5th season of Deep Space Nine. It's a great time. It's really cool. It's one of the best seasons of any Star Trek ever, including the animated series. So check that out. It's good fun, and you'll like it. This coming Thursday, the 7th Rule, at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll review the new episode of Discovery. That is season 4, episode 3, with special guest, the on-set prosthetic makeup department head, Rocky Faulkner.
Cool.
That's right. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be talking to all kinds of prosthetics and makeup with Rocky. It's going to be really cool. That is this coming Thursday. Then Sunday, we have a Virtual TrekCon Sunday Minicon, which will include the VTC2 video Space Command with Robert Picardo and Michael Harney and all kinds of goodies. And of course, Mark Zickrey. We will have the awesome science panel with Mohammed and Anne-Marie and Katie. That is meteorologist Katie Nicholau.
Quiz, so everybody can play.
With prizes.
Good stuff. I love this stuff. It's so fun. And Falling Towers, Watch the First podcast. We'll be reviewing Rick and Morty, which you may have heard of. Rick and Morty with our good friend Glee's Josh Sussman and special guest host,
Oh.
actress Bridget Fitzgerald. This was suggested to us by Crystal Starr, right, Anne-Marie?
Wait, she's the one who did Solar Opposites.
That's right.
Oh my
That's right.
gosh. Deep cut.
Deep cut. Okay. And it all starts with the Deep Space Nine review by the Seventh Rule. Lastly, next Tuesday, we'll see on the main viewer. All right, here's the answer.
Okay, wait,
to the
really
trivia
fast.
question.
The tie-in for this trivia question is that
Yes.
the name of Discovery's episode this week is Choose to Live. So there's like tons of fan buzz wondering if it's a tie-in to the Quant-Malot and Picard. And this card kind of has something to do with that. Okay, sorry, continue.
No, that's awesome. That is great knowledge.
So
Excellent knowledge.
Perfect card for the week.
Okay, so most people in the chat are saying C. We're saying C, not sure. C, Three Musketeers. Oh, wait, that's Anne-Marie saying Three Musketeers. You're right here. Everybody is saying C. What do you guys think? Uh-oh, Scott's got the answer too. Yep.
Okay, here's my question. Does he remember when he gives the Three Musketeers book? Does he think
The
back to
answer
when
is
when
in fact
sorry.
C, the Three Musketeers.
when like Barkley had that like Three Musketeers holodeck program where he was like making fun of everybody on the ship? Like does Picard like think back to that when he gives the book, or has he like erased that from his memory? Because Three Musketeers is forever linked to that for me.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And does he still call him broccoli?
Yes.
Three Musketeers is more delicious than broccoli, I'll tell you that much.
Definitely.
Were you
That's
one of
like
those not
Porthos
loving
the
broccoli
dog.
eaters growing up, Ryan?
No, it's fine, but Three Musketeers is really good.
Right, but did you like broccoli growing up?
It's okay. I like Mr. Broccoli.
And Porthos.
I think it's time to go.
It is. It's absolutely time to go. So thank you all very much for joining us. Everybody at home, thank you so much. The links will be in the description box below. Go say hi to Scott, Mohammed, Melissa, Anne-Marie, fuck Rico. And we'll see you all at the convention in LA too. If you are in LA, come to the Nichelle Nichols Farewell Convention. If you are not, we'll tell you all about it on social media, and we'll probably give you a recap of it next Tuesday. So everybody go check out Edward Keel. Go check out the Indiegogo. Go check out everything else we talked about, or just do whatever you want. We're not your boss. We're not your mom. Who cares?
Or are we?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Anyway, great. Well, thank you all very much, guys. We really appreciate it. We'll see you soon. Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Whoa, we almost forgot.
What?
When you're looking for Edward Keel's Trololo, put it on the main viewer.
Yes.
This is where we freeze.
That's the best closer ever.